This
Welcome, John.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so hello guys. I hope my screen is visible. Welcome to NL Tech Automation Trainings again. So this is the second session of your Selenium Automation with Java Day 2 Demo 2 Session 2. Okay, we have already started our course from yesterday. If you have not attended the session yesterday, kindly do take a recording from me. I have just already shared that in the group. Okay, so yesterday's session was all about just to give a refresher for that. Yesterday's session was all about the course curriculum. We have talked about JDK, JRE, JVM, JIT, difference between all these things. How is your execution flow of a Java program takes place basically in a layman term, and then we have seen more technical terms with the help of your compile time execution and with your runtime execution. Okay, apart from that, we have seen the differences between all the JDK, JVM, JRE, and JIT. Okay, along with that, what we have done, we have installed our JDK. I think the latest version of 17, 21, 24, whatever you want, in our systems. Then we have set the path variables in our environment, variables inside our C folder, that here inside our this PC, and more properties inside the properties advanced section, and we have done our environment variable setting inside here. Okay, that is required for you to run your projects from anywhere down the line. Okay, all these things we discuss. Now today is an entire, a sort of a coding start day that we'll be working on Eclipse. Then I'll be discussing up with you various data types that are useful, that will be helpful for you guys for automation framework creation. Then we'll be discussing up more important interview questions, because these are the technical interview questions that you might encounter in terms of your face-to-face interview from the interviewer, or in terms of your, a sort of a written round. Yes, some companies take a written round also, output based questions and all these things. So we'll be discussing up all these things today. Fine. Now, to start with, what we have to do, obviously we need some sort of a IDE, or integrated development environment thing. Okay, what is that? So for all the freshers, for all those who don't have any knowledge, for writing any code, two things we need: JDK in our system, a Java development kit, because for all the coders, automation engineers, developers, JDK is required, as I told you yesterday, for writing our code. Okay, now first step is clear. We have a JDK installed in our system. Now what we want a sort of a notepad like text editor tool, where we can actually write our code. If we want to write our code in Python, JavaScript, Java, whatever we want, but obviously we will be needing a what IDE. Okay, so there are different types of IDE people usually practice on, like Eclipse, IntelliJ, Visual Studio Codes. But I prefer more this Eclipse, because it is user friendly. You will be able to understand and all these things. Okay, so we'll be starting with this thing. What we have to do, for all those people, those who don't have their any sort of ID installed in their system, they just go and check this thing, Eclipse download, right? Eclipse download to the Google, then go on this Eclipse IDE for Java developers. Okay, then you can see here, you will be landing on this particular page. It says that this release was published on, so this is the latest, very older release showing to us, and it is telling us that for newer releases after 22, you just click on this here. After clicking on this here, just come down and you will be able to see the latest release of the Eclipse, and that is on June 2025. Okay, that's up to you if you want to download the latest release version of this Eclipse, or even if you have installed 2023 version, that's fine. That older version till it will work, but not older than 2022 at least. Okay, now for all the new users, what you have to do, you just need to drop down, scroll down and click on this Eclipse ID for Java developers. There you will be finding the Eclipse to be downloaded for your Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. And even you can choose according to your operating system. You can just click on this particular part. Exe file will be downloaded. Okay, then you will be just able to double click on it, next, and your Eclipse will be downloaded in your system. I'm not doing it again, because obviously I have 24 September version in my local system. I'll be working on that part now. Once you have downloaded this Eclipse, now you are good to go. Your second step is clear, that you will be writing your code in the Eclipse only. Fine. Now, as soon as you download your code, okay, I'm just closing it again for you and opening it. So I have opened this Eclipse. It will be showing like this, the same screen, sort of based on the versions. It will be shown to you. Then it will be asking me that where do you want your workspace to be present? Where do you want your default directory to be there? So workspace is something where all your projects, whatever thing you will be doing, will be present inside this particular folder. Okay, if you want to create some new Eclipse workspace, you can create multiple workspaces for you. You can work on multiple workspaces, multiple projects. Okay, so this is a default workspace that is selected for me, and I have chosen that part. Just click on this launch. Within a couple of seconds, I think 20 seconds will take, and your Eclipse will be launched. That will be useful for writing your code. Okay, all these things I am telling you very first time, and the only time I'm telling you, because this is the basics everyone should know. Okay, fine. Let me just process out this particular fine. Okay, now can you see these? There are the three sections on this particular Eclipse page. This is the Eclipse IDE. Fine. On the left corner side, you can see all the automation frameworks or whatever frameworks you are creating. A projects, a simple Java project, Maven project, whatever you want to create, it will be showing inside the left corner. On this section, you can see this section here. You will be actually writing your code. Okay, either you write in C sharp, C++, Python, whatever you want, you will be writing your code here. Then on the this lower down, you will be able to see a console screen. So that is something to represent you what you are actually printing, what you are actually working on. Okay, these are the important sections. Rest all the sections I'll be discussing with you as we proceed. Fine, guys, I hope it is understandable. Okay, now let us just start with what we have to do. We have to first go on the file, then click new, and we can just create a simple Java project. I'm not going for the Maven project because Maven project is actually required for the Selenium framework. For now I'll be discussing up with the Java sessions. So let us just create a simple Java project. Okay, okay, fine. I'll just open it again. I have some issues there. Okay, new Java project. And now what? Whatever Java project you want to name it, you can give. Since I am taking your Java sessions for this July batch, I am writing it Java sessions July batch 2025. Okay, cool, fine. Now you will be selecting a default JDK that I have already installed my 17. If you have installed 21, 24, either way you can select. Okay, and you can just click on next. Fine. You have a source folder. Fine. Inside the source folder, you don't have anything. You just click on finish. Now what will happen as soon as you did this, you will be having a project created in your directory, in your workspace. Fine, with a JDK 17 showing to me that it is being directed to that. Okay, now this left hand side src, this is a folder. Src folder, the full form, it is source code, where all the developers, all the automation engineers, all the coders will be writing their code. Okay, this is a simple folder is there, but there is a process that we have to follow. And what is that? I'll just open up this thing with you. Okay, just a second. Just try to explain what we have to follow. Okay, so first thing in our directory or in our project is your package. Okay, I'll explain you what package and all these things is. Then what we have your classes. Okay, so similar way, this is our default folder that Java has given to us. Now what we will do, we will just right click on it, new, and then we will create a package. So guys, I'll just try to explain you what package and all these things in the later sessions. Just try to understand uh, how you are creating it. Okay, so we can give the name of the package anything, but remember, you should not give a name starting with a capital letters, because this is highly discouraged from the Java side. It's not something you cannot create. You can create, but obviously, being a coder, we should understand some things that Java has suggested to us. Okay, so package name should always be started with your what, smaller. Then we can use the camel cases. Okay, Java sessions is the name of your package that I have created. Inside this package, we can create as many classes as we want. Okay, these are the classes which is required to actually run your project. Okay, run your files. So for time being, I'm just creating a single class where I'll be discussing with you today's module, that is all about your data types. Okay, these are very important, guys, because a lot of interview questions are being asked to this data types output type. I'll be just explaining to you how. Okay, this is the data types, and I am selecting a public static void main as a main method. Okay, fine. Now this is some sort of a snippet that is being generated by the Java only. The first line, can you see this thing? It is a statement. And why it is a statement? Because it is ending with a semicolon. So all those lines in our Java, in our file that are ending with an semicolon, they are all called as a what? Statements. Now, can you ask Nishant, then why this data types we don't have this line ending with an semicolon? Because this is not a statement. This is what? A class name. Can you see this? Data types dot Java. This is a Java file. This is the class name, and under this class name we have a sort of a this thing. You can see that I have double clicked on this thing. So this class consists of from here till here. Okay, and inside this class I have a single main method. Okay, main method, all these things I'll be explaining up you in later chapters. What is public static void mean? Don't worry for that thing if you don't have an idea. Okay, just to I try to understand, this is a main method. Without main method in a Java class, Java file, you cannot actually run your code. Okay, let us delete this. So this is something main method is actually required, and that is why the reason is that the interview question comes, can you run your Java programs without main method? The answer would be no, because what happens in yesterday's session, I have told you that Java C compiler actually compile your code from the Java file to the dot class file. Okay, then comes the responsibility of the JVM to execute your code, to convert to the machine readable code. Now what happens if this method is not there? Let us consider this method is not there. You won't be having any compile time error, because obviously Java C did it compilation. But just see the difference. Just a second, see the difference. Now right now you can see, right click on it, run as. Can you see the Java application? It is able to run as a Java application, though I have not printed any sort of a statement here. No console, nothing is there. A blank screen comes to me, but I am able to run the program because compilation is successful and execution is successful. Now just check this out. I'm just deleting this thing. Okay, right click, again run as. Can you see where Java application is there? It's gone. No configurations to run this particular file is there, because JVM is not able to understand that where is your main method. JVM only understand that he has to execute its flow from the main method only. So if you don't have any main method in your class, it won't be executing your entire code. It will only be able to compile. No execution, nothing is there. So for that case, you surely need to have this what? Main method inside your Java class. Okay, because JVM understand only this thing, main method. It is directly calling this main method, and every execution take place from this main method only. Fine. I hope it is understandable. It's very simple thing, but a conceptual question, interview question being asked. Okay. Now we have created a package, Java sessions. Then we have created a class, data types. We have talked about this public static void main method that is really required for JVM to actually execute your things. Now let's talk about one more thing. So this, can you see this thing? Double line, forward bracket, forward slashes. What is that? These are the comments. Okay. So comments can be single line comment, multiple line comments that I'll be discussing up with you in later chapters. But for now, try to understand. If you will do a double slash, write anything, then it won't be executed. It will be just treated as a comment, and comment means it is helpful for your documentation purpose. So understand a case, visualize a case when you have an entire lot of file returns in front of you, a lot of code of 1,000 line, 10,000 line, and you are not able to understand. So for that reason, documentation is required. Comments are actually mentioned by the developers, automation engineers, that yes, this method is particularly used for this particular purpose. Okay, so for that reason, try to make it a habit that you should put some comments on a method, that why it is actually required and why you have written a code. Okay, like this. Fine. So comments are required. And then now what we will do, we will understand your data types. What data types are there? Okay, so in your Java, guys, everything is related to your data types. If you have to assign a value to a particular variable, you have to give it with a data type. Okay, if you have to work on any variables, anything like that, data types should come into picture. Okay, now see, there are basically two different types of data types. Okay, see, primitive data type, okay, and non-primitive data type. Fine. Now what are primitive data types? So you have heard there are 8 different types of data types, like your what? You have your byte, short, int, hmm, long, char, then what? Float, double, and what? Boolean. These are your A data types actually. Hmm? You already know, correct? So why these data types are called as primitive data types? Because they have their fixed memory assigned, a fixed memory is being given to them. Memory size is fixed. This is very important, guys, because this is one of the interview question. I'll just tell you what is that. So memory size of these primitive data types is fixed. Okay. Uh, and hence these are kept in the category of primitive one. Now, what are non-primitive data types? We have arrays, we have collections, okay, then we have your objects, then what we have your classes, and lot many things, okay. So all these data types which don't have any memory fixed assigned to them, these are called as non-primitive data types. For non-primitive data types, all the values that you are storing in a particular variable, their size keeps on growing, shrinking based upon whatever you are doing. But that's not the case of your primitive data types. Okay. So for today, we'll be understanding the concept of primitive data types, where memory remains the fixed, size remains the fixed. And what is the size and range? I'll just talk about. Okay. So we have two major sections that all these data types are divided into. The one section is your numeric data type, numeric types, under which first one comes your integral type. Okay. What is integral type? It's an integer value. Okay. What is that? If I'll talk about, it comes from the integer family, and in integer family there are four brothers. What? Byte, short, int, and long. These are the four brothers, comes from your integer family, that is from your numeric types. Second thing, that is your, it is one dot a, and that is one dot b. And second thing, that comes your floating type. So floating type also comes inside a numeric family because these are represented in terms of your decimal format. Okay. And what are these? Float and double. Correct. So these are what? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 6. Six data types I have shared and mentioned. These are coming from your integral type and numeric type family. Okay. Now, second data type that is also coming from your numeric type is what? It is your, see, character. Okay. Now you will ask me, sir, why this character data type is coming from the numerical family? Okay, that I'll try to explain. Because all these characters consist of some ASCII value. Okay, these are some ASCII codes, Unicodes are there. That is a mathematical representation in numerical format. Okay, so that we'll be discussing up more into later chapters. But understand that character type is also belong from the numeric family, and the data type name is char. So we have covered 7 data types. More now another section that can be divided is your boolean data types. Okay, and under boolean type we only have one type of data type. What is that? And that is your boolean. Okay, that can be represented in true or false format. Correct. So there are 8 types of data types: byte, short, int, long, float, and double coming from your integral numeric family. One is character, that is also coming from a numeric family, and then one remains your boolean type, that is coming from your boolean family. I hope now things are clear that these are the 8 data types. These are called as primitive. And why these are called as primitive? Because they have some fixed size of memory assigned to them. That more than that, you cannot keep the value in that particular variable. I'll be showing you in more practical way now. Okay, just try to understand, guys. Let us consider x is equals to 10. Okay, why this is giving error to me? Hmm? Let's see the error. What it is? It is saying that x cannot be resolved to a variable. Java is not able to understand, guys, what x actually is. What you have written x, is that an integer form? It's a float form, character form, double, or what it is? So in Java we have to explicitly mention what type of value 10 we are actually storing in what type of data type. Okay, so we have to give it some sort of a numeric data type, either byte, int, short, long, okay, based upon the value that we are actually storing in it. Now the error is gone, only just yellow sign is there, and that I'll also explain why it is there. Fine. Now that error is gone. So obviously in Java you need to specify your values which you are assigning to anything to a data type. That's not the case, guys, in case of the JavaScript. If anyone knows JavaScript, have learned on that, then you can just directly assign any value to anything. Okay, but in Java you have to explicitly tell them that what you are actually doing, what type of data type you are using with what value. Okay, now try to understand. I'll be explaining you a memory management also along with this thing, how the value is getting stored in what. Now see, I'll just, okay, so this is a, you can consider it as a box, a memory box where your x variable is stored, correct? And inside your x variable you have a value of what, 10, right? So this is a box, a bucket of byte data type where your x value variable is stored with a value 10 into it. Now there are several type of boxes, guys, inside this particular memory management. Okay, this is a memory you can consider. Okay, inside this multiple types of variables can be created with x, y, z and all these things, whatever you want, and all these entire block will be consisting and utilizing some of the memory. Okay, so what happens, you assigned a value x 10. Okay, it occupies some memory into the memory management. And what is the memory it is occupying? Okay, so I'll just tell you. First is your byte we are working on. In byte, okay, the size of the byte is your 1 byte. Okay, it actually takes, this x variable takes 1 byte of the memory to be stored inside the memory management. 1 byte, or we can say 1 into 8 is equals to 8 bits. 8 bits or 8 byte of the memory is being utilized just to store this variable x with a value 10. See again, as I told you, this is your x variable. This is one bucket, okay, which consists of your 10 value. Okay, this is the x variable. Now, 8 bits of the memory, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this 8 bits of memory, you can consider it is in the binary format, that it is actually required to store this your 10 value. Fine. This bits you cannot obviously see, you cannot check memory and all, but once all these compilation comes, okay, the entire code is converted into your binary code. At that time it is actually visible and checked that what is the memory this amount this variable or this project is actually taking. Okay, so we need to keep in mind while selecting the data types that what type of data type we have to actually use. Okay, fine. This is one of the case that byte is actually taking a size of 1 byte or 8 bits. We can consider 1 byte is equals to 8 bits, 1 into 8. Now let us just try to assign one more value. Let it be 20. Okay, can you see the error coming right now? Hmm? Can you check this out? What it is saying? That duplicate local variable. That means that you cannot assign a variable that is already assigned in this entire file. You cannot just do that, because that is a restriction from Java that you have to use every time a unique variable if you want to store some value. So you have to use x, y, z, but that should not be duplicated. Okay. Now what happens in this memory management? Understand it. I have this entire memory management part in it. Now it consists of two blocks. One is your x and one is your y block. Okay, this is your y variable is stored and this is your x variable is stored. This consists of a 10 value now and this consists of 20 value now. Now can you tell me, both these lines 31 and 32 are actually taking what? 2 bytes. 1 byte this 10 value and second byte another 1 byte this 20 value inside this memory management. Okay, understood? Now I hope you are getting that what is the size of the byte, how the memory management is taking place. Okay, now this is one of the case. Tell me one thing. As I told you, I cannot write this. Obviously I cannot write because this is not unique for me. Now can you see this? If I write this now, no issues, no errors. Why is that so? Because this X variable type, I have already assigned that it should be of your byte data type. In the 32 line, what I am doing, I am actually reassigning the value to the same data type. I am not reinitializing or reassigning or retelling it that it is a byte type data type. It already knows that X is of your byte type data type. Now what you have to do, you have to just delete this older entry of your 10, take this entry of your 20. So now this is the case. This is your initial value, okay, and this is your final value. Just to demonstrate that, first I'll tell you how this is behaving in case of a memory management. This is my box where X variable is stored. Now what happens, initial time a value of 10 was there, okay, and then that just deleted it out, and now the final value is 20 is being stored inside this variable X. Now let us just show you practically. If I just try to print this value X, okay, in the first line, and also I'll try to print this again same value X in the second line. Now what will happen? What should be the output, guys? Hmm? So from the 33 line, the first output should be 10, and then the output should be 2. That means the initial value was 10, then it deleted and reassigned that value 20 to X variable. Fine. So this is how your reassignment, your assigning of the value takes place within the same data type. Fine. So you cannot obviously reconfirm it that it is a byte type of data type, because that is already told to this particular variable. Now you can just reassign this particular value to it. Okay, this is another case. Now check this out. If I am taking a variable a to whom actually I am assigning a value 130. Hmm? Can you see why there is an error now? I am doing it everything right. I have taken a unique value, a unique variable name a. I have passed some value to it, but what it is showing? It is saying that you cannot convert from int to byte. Now it is considering this value 130 as an int value, not a byte value. And why is that so? Because the reason is that if you have learned in your graduation and all, if you have just go through this basics of it, the values that byte can actually store, if I talk about the range, that comes from your minus 20 128 to 127. So all these values can be stored to a byte variable, byte data type, okay, which is occupying the size of your 1 byte. Okay, now just see, if I'll just remove this 130 and I'm assigning 129, again it is taking your some errors are there. As soon as I do it 127, the error is gone. It is saying yes, your value is correct. Now you can actually store your value here, okay, because the range for byte is only minus 128 to 127. Now what happens if I am taking minus 127 also? It's taking, correct? What happen if I'm taking minus 129? Obviously it won't take, because it has crossed the range of minus 128. Hmm? So all the values that are coming in minus 128 to 127 range, everything will be taking, byte can store that value, fine. But before, after 127 and before minus 128, obviously this value cannot be taken. It will be throwing some error. It won't be executed. It is not compiled even. I told you yesterday, na, Java compiler won't be able to compile it also if he is getting some issues in the code. Hmm? Okay. Now you can ask me, then sir, why this byte is used? Where we do use the bytes? We'll just you see some use case, a practical use case, a real time one. So we can actually store byte variables for what? Smaller numbers, like if we want to store some age of a particular person. Obviously the maximum age up, right now the practical thing is 100 only. From 0 to 100 it can actually take. So we can store this age values inside a particular byte variable. Then we can also store the number of students in a class. Okay, these are some practical examples. Plus if we want to store days in a month, how many days are there in a month? The maximum 31 days, correct? Weeks in a day, days in a week, 7 days. So all these things can be stored and should be used like this. Byte age is what? 31. Byte days is what? Your 7 days in a week, correct? For all those cases, the smaller numbers, these byte variables are actually used. Hmm? Fine. This is actually helpful, if you are a good coder, if you understand the logics and all these things, that if you are storing this smaller value in a long, in a higher data type, then obviously in terms of your memory management, it will take a huge memory. So good to use a smaller numbers for a smaller cases. Take the data type as a byte. Fine. I hope things are now understandable to you. Now what happens, this thing suggested me that I cannot take the number 129 because it is coming out of a range of this byte. Where should we store all these numbers which are above 127? Hmm? Now we should use short. This is another brother coming from the numeric type family. Okay. Now if I just talk about the size first, so size, it can actually take what? It takes 2 byte of the memory. That means 2 into 8 is equals to 16 bits of the values you can actually store to this short variable. Fine. For byte, we can only take up to 1 byte. That byte was taking 1 byte, but short can take up to what? Your 2 bytes of the memory or 16 bits of the memory. Okay. Now, let us just directly come to the range. What is the range you can expect from this short data type? Hmm? Anyone knows? Okay, so this is minus 32678, 32768 to 32767. Okay, so from negative of this minus 32768 to 32767, this particular short variable can actually take. Now, I can store whatever number I want till this particular range. See this thing. Okay, we are able to store it. Hmm? Now, as soon as I did increment of one number by one, obviously it won't be taking because I am crossing the limit. I am crossing the range of this particular short. Fine. Similar thing, I am able to store till the negative of the numbers, but as soon as I am actually crossing the limit, so it is giving me some errors. Fine. For so we should keep in mind that for all the larger numbers, larger than your byte, we should keep it inside your what? We can store all these things inside the short, which is actually occupying a memory of your what? 2 bytes, 16 bits, and the range is minus 32768 to 32767. So don't worry, I'll just try to explain you how you can just remember. It's very easy, very, very easy. After this 10 minutes, I'll just try to tell you what is the shortcut of remembering all these things, because interview asks you, guys, this is not something I'm just teaching it for the teaching purpose. Interview asks you, all these questions are asked. Okay, that what is the range of your byte, how much can you store. It is coming in terms of our output based questions. Okay, that the question was like your x value will be I think 170 was the value, and obviously in the notepad this error was not showing. It was asked to the candidate, now can you print this something to me like this, what is the value it is going to print. Candidate answered 170. That was wrong. It should have given me a compile time error. See, I'm not able to compile this program also. Hmm? So that's the question you have to remember. You have to understand the logic for this thing. Right? Short is covered, byte is covered. Now what happens if I don't want this short to be used? I have longer values. Hmm? Then obviously the best preferred approach is your int. We already know, we everyone use everywhere this int. Okay, but people don't exactly take care that for even storing a value of 10, they are using int. That is actually occupying a more memory in my data, in my RAM. So for int, can anybody tell me what is the range and size of it? So the size of int data type is my 4 bytes. Correct, it's neither 1 nor 2, it's 4 bytes. 4 byte means, or 4 into 8, that comes to 32 bits of the memory actually it can take. Fine. Now let us just see, if I just write int any number. Okay, and can I take this longer number? Can I take this more longer number? Yes, it is. It doesn't have any issues. I can take it up. Okay, so it can actually take up to 10 numbers. Now see, 10 numbers it can actually take up to, but see what is the range of it. The range of this int is minus 2147 483648. So this is something I remember, but obviously need not for you to remember. Just tell you the shortcut for it. Okay, till what? This one number. Just I'll just try to print it. Now the error is gone. So this is the maximum number that particular int variable can take as soon as I just incremented one. Obviously it is telling me that you are not doing it correct. There is a compile time error. The size you are using for int is more. Fine. So this is the int that can actually take up to value from minus 2147483648 till a positive number. Okay. Now, before discussing the use case, let us just try to understand what is a shortcut for remembering all these things. It's very simple, guys. See, I'll just open just a second. Okay, for you, this thing. Can you use a calculator just to check what is 2 to the power of 7 is? Hmm? Can you check this? 2 to the power 7 is 128. Huh? So you just need to remember this thing. If it is a 8 bits of memory, fine, then what should be the power? 2 to the power 7. 2, 2 to the power of 7 and minus 1. Minus 1 is why? Because 128 minus 1 is 127. So minus 128 till 127 is your byte range. Now, what about your short range? Since it is 16 bits, so we have to take a lesser number than 16, that is 15. So minus 2 to the power 15 to 2 to the power of 15 minus 1. Fine. That comes to your minus 32768 to 32767, and this is it. Okay. Now tell me, what should be the power of this thing for 32 bits for this range? It should be something like 32 minus 1, 31. So minus 2 to the power 31 to 2 to the power 31 minus 1. Okay, we can check from there as well. Just write it. Okay, let's see what it is coming. See, minus 2147483648, exactly the number that I have written till your this one, till your here. Just a second. See, minus positive number 2147483647. This is the number. So this is very simple, guys, to understand. Based on the bits, if it is having the 8 bits only, 1 byte of the memory byte, then 2 to the power 7 to this one. If it is having 16 bit, then 15 is the power. 32 bit, then obviously 31 is the power. Okay, so this is my int number. Every time, everywhere you can see the int being used, maximum number of time. Okay, so what are the different use cases? If I just talk about the practical use cases for int, what is that? Can we store the salary? The practical use cases. Can we store the salary? Can we store other big amounts to it that are actually used for calculations for all these purposes? So this is an actual use case for storing this a huge number. We can just store our salary here. We can do it, correct? So this is one of the use case of your int. Now what happens if we have a very long number and we want to be stored it inside your what, in your variable, and int is not supporting that. Okay, now for that reason we have a fourth brother from the numeric family, and that is your long. Okay, now tell me, what should be the size of this long? Obviously it should be double from int, and that is your 8 bytes. And what in terms of your bits? It should be 8 into 8 is equals to 64 bits. Correct? And what should be the range now? Obviously, I also don't remember. Because I remember it from where? I remember it from here. Minus 2 to the power what? If it is 64 bit, then your power should be 63. 2, positive 2 to the power of 63 minus 1. Okay, this is the range of long. Can you believe it? This much amount of values it can store. Just copy paste here and you'll be able to see what is the value. Even calculator is not able to understand or is not able to print in front of you. It is giving some exponential powers. Hmm? So just remember it from here, from the size of the particular data type, and a range will be actually known to you. It's very simple. You need not to rote learn all these things and all these big things. But tell me, where should long things be used? Okay, before discussing the use case, check this out. uh Long, and we have, okay, something, we'll take lo as a variable for now, and we are storing a huge amount of that, this thing. Okay, huge amount. Let it be like this. Can you tell me why this error is there, even if I am actually storing this value? Okay, or let's see, let me just store the same value which is in which int can store. Just writing few more points, and now see why it is giving me this error. Obviously this power is very long, it can actually store it. The actual reason is that by default, whatever thing you are writing here now, it consider it to be int. So to explicitly tell Java that you are actually writing the long value, what you have to do, you have to write a variable as L, small l or capital L at the end of your numeric type values. That will make him understand and Java that you are now printing a long type value and calculations should be based on in that manner only. Okay, so for long, what you have to give, L, small l or a big L at the end. Correct? Cool. Now, yes, the use case, very important. Can anyone tell me why where we actually use this long variables? Can you visualize if we have to create or if we have to count the word population? Hmm? It's in billions, correct? What happens? There was COVID 3 years back. COVID cases, huge COVID cases, millions of COVID cases, correct? Another case, stock market. We have huge volumes coming in the stock market. Where can we store it? This inside your this long variables, correct? So these are your some important use cases that you can store these values, correct? Fine. I hope things are clear. So that was something from your where from your numeric family coming first set. Second set is your floating type. Okay. Now tell me one thing. You can ask sir why we are actually storing all these things in your this int, long, short, or byte. Now what happened? Uh, for all those things like your Aadhaar number is there, or your credit card details is there, debit card details is there, then your account number is there. You tell me now, account number, okay, account number is there, fine. Your PAN card number is there. Where you're going to store all these things? Hmm? Tell me. Are you going to store in a long, int, short, byte, or where? Nowhere, guys. These things are stored nowhere. For them to store, we have a non-primitive data type, and that is what? It is your string. It is highly recommended not to use your Aadhaar number, account number, all these things, or a fake account numbers also in your this numeric type data types. The reason for is that all the values which are stored inside long, int, short, and byte, they are actually useful for some mathematical operations. You can perform some subtraction, division, additions, multiplications, some return type, but obviously you need not to do any sort of calculations on your account number, credit card, Aadhaar number, PAN card. So for that reason, they are actually stored in what? In terms of your some string format like this thing. So this is your what? PAN card number. Let it be. Okay, because we need not to do any sort of mathematical calculations on it. It is hard coded. Okay, memory management on all I'll be telling up with you. Okay, I'll be telling up with you in the upcoming chapters for the string and all, but just try to understand that this is being stored in the non-primitive data types for string, never used for your numeric data type, because all the numeric data types guys are used only and only for some mathematical calculations if we have to perform, if we have some data to be performed. Fine. Okay, I think till here it's understandable. Now let us just talk about your fifth data type. What is a float? That's coming from the floating type data type. Okay, so there are the two data types which represents a decimal format. This is float and double. Okay, so the size of this float guys is what? It is similar to the size of your int, which is your 4 byte, or we can say 4 into 8, that is your 32 bits of the memory in memory management. Okay, so these are the bits this float is actually taking. Correct? Fine. Now, what is the range? First, before telling the range, just check this. It is represented with a float f. Okay, as a float data type. F is equals to, if I have something, some numeric decimal value to be stored, then I can use this float f. Now, tell me, what is the reason this float, even if giving the decimal value, a smaller value, whatever it is giving me an error? Why it is? Check this out. So the issue is it is saying that you cannot convert from a double to float. So by default, whatever decimal terms you are writing, it is considered as a double only. Okay. And to explicitly tell Java that you are writing a smaller float value, what you have to give? a clear indication of either small f or a indication of a capital F to actually perform the mathematical calculations in your coming codes. So you have to explicitly tell this Java that I am writing a float value, consider it as a float only, and print the entire value. See, now if I have to print, okay, if I have to print this float value, what should be the print of this output of this? Is that 2.5 or 2? Hmm? See, obviously 2.5 because you have asked him that treat it as a float value. Fine. I told you the size of this float is your 4 byte, 32 bits, and what is the range of it? The range actually is determined from how many values you can store after the decimal. So from the books and all, from the actual descriptions, we can actually store, it's written everywhere that you can store a value of 6 to 7 uh, decimal digits, okay, after your decimals. See, just try it out. See, now the question comes, I'm just copying it here, F1. Okay, can you see this? I can write as many values I can, okay, but I have told just now that I can only store the range of 6 to 7 digits. Now let us just try to print this value. Print F1. What should be the output, guys? Should it print the entire value? Should it print some garbage value or what? Say it. It is only printing up to what? 3236, 6 decimal digits. Or above 1 it has printed to the what? 7 decimal digits. So obviously by default it is only taking up to 6 to 7 decimal digits only. Rather all these digits from this right side are being truncated, because the float can only store 6 to 7 decimal digits. I hope it's understandable to you. Hmm? Now, here comes some use case where you want to store all your what all things you can store inside the decimal things. Hmm? There is a rating system for calculation of your marks, correct? There is a CGPA going on in decimal format for 10th, 12th, correct? Okay, CGPA, that's your percentage and all these things in decimal format. Then what if you want to depict some temperature in Fahrenheit or in degree centigrade? Obviously you need some a decimal range, correct? For all these things we can actually store all these values inside of a float only. Fine, understandable, guys? I hope I'm making sense, things are clear to you. Now let us just see the seventh part of our family of or sixth part, sorry for that. That's a double. As the name suggests, it's double than float. So the size also is what? It's double than your float. It is 8 bytes. It is taking a huge byte of memory inside your memory management. 8 bytes or your 64 bits. Fine. And what is the range this particular double can take? Anyone? It can take up to 14 to 15 decimal digits. Fine. Almost double to that float. Hmm? Now see this. If I'll just depict it with the help of your double, d is equals to, I'm writing 7 point anything, literally anything. I can write it. Do I need to explicitly tell this is a float value of what? No. The reason is that by default, as it was the error coming, that every float value or the every decimal value will be treated as a double only. Okay. But even if you want to write it for your safety, you can just write it D or capital D. It's up to you. But even if you don't write, every value of decimal will be treated as your what? Double. And every numerical value will be treated by default as what? Int. Fine. Cool. Fine. Okay. Then there is one more thing. Okay. That is outside of your these data types, and there this comes when, what if I want to store a very huge value in terms of your data analytics, what we do, mathematical analytics, okay, scientific calculations. Then where are all those integer values are being stored that are very huge, then long also? Have anybody heard the term big integer for storing all these big integer values and big decimals? Okay. Obviously we're not going to discuss this because that's not the part of your course, not required, but for your information, these are the two values data types where we can actually store a very huge amount of value in terms of your decimal or in terms of your what integers. Okay, now let us proceed to the seventh family of your data type. That's the second family. That is your character. Fine. And character is what? It's a char data type. If I'll talk about the size of it, then what is the size of it? It's very less. You can just store it in a 2 bytes. It doesn't require more memory. Correct? Doesn't require much memory. But the restriction is that in char, as the name suggests, this is a data type value we can store in char only. As the name suggests, we can only store a single value to it. Only a single value, whether it is a special character, numeric, numbers, alphanumeric. Obviously you cannot send two digits. Your bigger letters, smaller letters, some Arabian letters, Japanese letter, anything you want to store, you can surely store it inside the character, but within a single quotes and a single value only. Okay, now let us just try to print this care. Okay, see, it is printing A, correct? But what if I'm just saying it print double A? Obviously, in word me taking, it is considering it that you are typing a two digits invalid character constant. You cannot do this because for character there is a limitation, only one character at a time. As many character as you want. That's not a limitation for this one. Okay, you can take a smaller number, then you can take obviously some your special characters. Everything will be printed. Okay, because these are based out of your what unicodes. So for every character, every special characters, there are some unicodes, there are some ASCII values, okay, based on some international standards. So I'll be discussing with you on later on, but try to understand as a limitation, uh, the bits size what it can actually store. So it can only store a single value of the character in a single code. Fine, correct? Now what is the range of it, guys? Just see quickly the range of it. What is the range of it? It can store a value from A to Z, smaller A to Z, then it can store a value from bigger A to bigger Z, then it can actually store the values from 0 to 9 and other special characters. So this becomes your range. Fine, cool. Good. Okay. Now, can someone tell me what is the specifications of the use cases for it? Where this characters are used? I don't think so. It is used anywhere. Hmm? This is the most useful data types that is being used. In the entire frameworks. The reason is that let's suppose if we have to specify some genders, hmm, in the frameworks and all these things. What if we want to have some execution status? It can be your what? It can be your y, your n, your pass, your fail with a single letter. Correct? What happens if we want to denote some currency denotions? Huh? Can be dollars, can be rupee, okay, can be yen, anything it can be. Correct? So for that, all cases your characters are hugely required. Fine. Now let us come to our eighth and the last category. That is your Boolean type. It's very simple and it is usually, you know, moreover everywhere inside a project. See, it can just only consist of two values. And if I'll just talk about the size guide, it's very less. It's minimal. It only comes to 1 bits, not a 1 byte. I'm talking about 1 bits. Okay, 1/8 byte. Getting it is only taking 1 bit of the memory to store this true value, false value. How it is stored? In this way. Boolean b1 is equals to true and Boolean b2 is equals to false. No true capital letters true, no false capital letter false. It will be just purely taking the value in this way only as I have written. Okay, fine. Let us just try to print uh, b1 and your b2 just in a simple way. Okay, let us just try to print this. It printed true false, correct? So this is how your boolean values are being stored. Now if you'll talk about use cases for me to me, then there are huge number of use cases. Every time you have to do some, if else conditions you have to apply, then obviously there will be a logic that will be ending up where true or false condition only. You have some while loops, okay, if else conditions, while loops, then what? Hmm? There's so many things, whatever conditions you have to check with any of the loops, with any of the if else conditions, boolean will be surely and surely surely working on. Fine, there are lot many use cases within Selenium also that I'll be working for your boolean, but for time being let us just try to understand this thing. Okay, so this is what all your data types are all about for these primitive data types. Okay, now one more important question: why Java is not 100% object oriented? This is the important question, guys. The reason is these primitive data types only. Can you see that I have used this primitive data types directly in my code and directly printed the value, use them? Do I need to create any objects of this thing, classes, anything like that? Do I created any objects of these booleans or these characters, anything like this? That's why Java is never considered a 100% object oriented programming language, because of these 8 data types which are primitive data types. Okay, because we need not to create any sort of an object to use them in our Java classes. Correct? I hope now you will be able to giving the answer of this question also. Hmm? Now tell me one thing, a simple question to you. What this thing will print? System.out.println. I'll be explaining to you what is system, what is out, and println everything. But just try to remember, this is the command statement that we have to give for printer, for printing a value. What this command will do? 106 line. Tell me, is it going to print anything? Okay, it printed 12. Now the question I'm asking it to you in terms of the memory management, can you tell me what is this value? Is this considered as a byte, int, float, long, or what? So by default, I told you guys, every integer value will be considered as integer, every decimal value will be considered as what? Your float value. So double value. So try to understand that, don't try to print all these values directly, because since these are now considered by default as integer, it will be taking a huge memory byte. Because 12 value you can surely store inside the byte and then can print it. But what if you are printing directly? It will be taking a huge memory space. Okay, you won't believe, these memory management issues comes later on when your framework has been grown up so much. There are a lot many variables, lot many things you have used, and you won't understand why your memory is being leaked, or why your application has crashed at the end. So try to be smooth in these, using all these data types and everything, that what variable, what value you are to storing to what variable. Fine, cool. I think all these things are understandable to you. This was all about your data types. Fine, I hope these things are understand. Do you have any questions, guys, still here? You can just take a 1 minute pause for you. Are there any questions? You can use a chat. I hope things are clear. Can you give me at least a thumbs up, yes, no? Okay, I think things are now cleared mostly. Now let us try to move to a separate topic, that is your mathematical operations. And inside that mathematical operations, increment and decrement operations, most of the questions, output based questions, are usually asked, and people are just stuck into it. Okay, so for that reason, I'll just create a maths operator class for you. We'll having a public static void main method, because everything has to be starting from there itself. Okay, now guys, focus more here, because these are the important interview questions, output based questions, and some conceptual questions regarding this thing. Okay, so tell me now, since we have understood everything about data types and all these things, what if I am printing uh, this thing? What should be the print of it? What should be printed inside the console? Hmm? It should be 5, 4, or what? Tell me. It is 5, because 10 is directly being divided by your 2. 10 divided by 2, it is giving you what? 5, correct? Now tell me this output. Understand this. What should be the output of this 9 divided by 2? Is that 4, 4.5, 5 or what? Hmm? It is 4. Why it is that? Because this is an integer value which is not being 100% divisible by this 2. So what happens? See, you have understood in your you know smaller classes that 9 is not completely divisible by 2. So 2 4 ja 8 and 1 is your remainder. Okay. So this 4 is being considered as a quotient and it is being printed on our screen. Fine. Remainder is not printed, not being 100% divisible by. So the quotient is being printed in this case. Fine. In this case, it was 100% divisible by. So no remainder. All the question got printed. That was 5. Cool. So in this case, your 0.5 is ignored. Fine. Only the integer value, only 100% integer value got printed. Fine. Now tell me this thing. What should be the out? Just a second. What should be the output of? Okay. What should be the output of this? 9.0 divided by 2. Now here 9.0 is what? This is a float value. It's a decimal value or a boolean value. You can consider anything, but that's a what decimal value, float value. So what happens in this case? Check this out. Now the value comes out to be 4.5. Here 0.5 is not ignored because there is a concept, or you can understand from here also, if you are dividing any float value by float value or by integer value, okay, if any of the numerator or denominator is the float value, you will be getting a float value only. Correct? Fine. So you will be getting an output as 4.5. Cool. Now another thing, tell me this thing. What should be the output of this thing? 9 divided by 2.0. Hmm? I told you if any of the float value, there is a float value in the numerator denominator, output remains the same. That is your float value. Correct? Fine. Cool. Now one more thing. What is the output of this thing? 9.0 divided by 2.0. There is a difference. What should print? 4, 4.5, 5 or what? Again same thing. It should be printing your 4.5. Okay. Now this was a simple concept of your mathematical operation, divide by some positive number. Now let us just consider a case. These are now the important cases, very important cases. Hmm? See, tell me this now. These are the very important questions, guys. These are directly being asked from your interviewer. He'll be just posting these things in your chat, asking to you what is the output of it, and you will be just dumb in front of you. Tell me, what happens when you are dividing anything or any integer value was zero? Simply in terms of a mathematics, it should be infinity, correct? Anything divided by zero should be infinity, correct? But that's not the case of your Java. So dividing any integer value by zero, what it gives? It will give you an arithmetic exception. Arithmetic divide by zero exception. See here. See. Okay. So this is the exception. Probably I'll be teaching you in the further upcoming classes. But try to understand. Any integer value, not anything, any integer value which is divided by zero, it will give you a arithmetic exception only. Tell me now, what should be the output of this thing? 0 divided by integer or 9 or 10, something like this. So 0 divided by anything, obviously, oh, okay, sorry, I cannot proceed further because we have to handle this exception. I'll just comment this out. Now 0 divided by anything is 0 only. It's a simple mathematical logic. But integer divided by a 0 should be giving you arithmetic exception. Try to remember this. Okay. Now what if I am saying, guys, 0 divided by 0? Hmm? Any idea? Infinity, 0, exceptions or what? Obviously an exception. Understood the logic from above also? That 0 is also an integer. Okay. And that's why you will be getting is what? Arithmetic exception only. Fine. So these were the cases for your integers. Now let us just move forward. Cases for your float or double value. Now here comes a trick. See this. What happens if I'm saying, okay, your 9.0 now divide by 0. Tell me. In earlier case, what was happening? It was giving me an arithmetic exception. Now what happened here? Tell me. Is that giving me 0, infinity, not a number sort of, or arithmetic exception? So now here your mathematical concepts works. It will be saying, okay, again, here mathematical concepts will work. It will be saying if any float number is there, guys, then it will be giving us infinity only. Any float number being divided by 0, it will be giving us infinity. Okay. Similar cases. What if 9 divided by, I'll just say 0 0.0. Check this. 9 divided by 0 0.0 is also infinity because either of the number is float. Correct? Now, what happens in this case? Tell me now. 9.0 divided by 0.0. Both these numbers are float, and we have a concept that if any float number is divided by 0, then it will be giving us what? Infinity. So this case is also working for your infinity. Correct? So these are the cases for your infinity, that if any float number, any whatever it is, divided by 0, 0.0, it will be giving you what? Infinity only. Fine? Okay? I hope it is understandable now. Just try to see this thing. Another important case. So this, guys, these things will only come once you see a recording again, you practice it at your end. It's not something I'm just lecturing you. You are enjoying it. Obviously if you'll just write it down, all these things in front of you, just practice it now, you will learn a lot. Because all these things, framework and all creations, I'll be just making you a super smart all these things, but try to understand the basics of it. Okay. Now let us just understand important case for float and 0, that is your. Now what happens if I am saying, 0 divided by a 0.0. hmm? What should be this case? So here any of the number is float, but both these things are 0, so it will be considered as a nan. What is this nan? It's a not a number. Java does not understand this concept. Correct? Now just for a refresher, what is 0 divided by 0? It was basically an arithmetic operation, your arithmetic exception. Cool. Okay. And 0 divided by 0.0 is your what? Not a number. Or if I'll say uh, 0.0 divided by, let's see what it will be giving, a float number 0, which is divided by again 0, it will also be giving you as not a number. Okay. One more thing. What if I am printing it as 0.0 divided by 0.0 only? Both are float number and both are 0. So same thing, nan. So these are the three uh, important points for not a number. Hmm? Cool, understandable, fine. Now just one thing for you. Tell me, what should be this thing? What I am printing it like this. I am printing this 20 as a long number. Okay, but I am dividing by 0. What should be the output, guys? Simple concept that I just discussed with you. Any integer divide by 0, it should be giving me what? Arithmetic exception. Correct? Good, understandable. Huh? So this concept lies verified for a long number, whatever it is there, but it should be an integer. As soon as becomes float, okay, things changes. Like from here, if it becomes float here, okay, all will obviously you'll be getting a float value. Fine. Now if it becomes float in case of your 0, then if any of the number is a positive float number, you'll be getting infinity. If both the numbers are zeros, you'll be getting nan. Simple. And for all the integers which are divided by 0, purely integers divided by 0, you'll be getting an arithmetic exceptions which is divided by 0. Okay, fine, cool. Okay, now let us just understand one more important concept is your increment and decrement operator. uh, just create a class increment decrement operator. Okay, understand it, guys. It will be a super fun if you understand all these things. So there are two types of operators. Fine. Let us just go into some advanced thing. What it is? Post increment and post decrement. Fine. Second is what? Pre increment and pre decrement. So these are the four operators: post decrement, post increment, pre increment, and pre decrement are the operators. And what they are represented by? They are represented like this: minus minus a. Oh, sorry. For post decrement, it is a minus minus. Post increment, it is what? A plus plus plus. Okay. Then in your pre-increment, it is what? Minus your increment is there plus plus a. Then pre-decrement, it is what? Your minus minus. So in case of your pre, obviously minus minus plus plus comes first, then your any value, any variable, sorry. And in your post, obviously everything will comes your plus plus afterwards your variable. One important point: this pre-increment, post-increment, all these operators cannot be just assigned to a value. We cannot write this thing. See, like if I'm writing int a is equals to 1, I can write a plus plus, but obviously I cannot write 1 plus plus. It is not applicable to the values, numbers. It is only applicable to the variables. Fine, cool. Now just try to understand few concepts of it. Very simple, guys. You will be just having a fun if you understand the concept. I am writing int a is equals to 1. Okay, now I am writing int b is equals to what? A plus plus. Okay, and I am saying you guys, please print the value of it and tell me what should be the output. Hmm? Most of the people do blunders in this. It's a smaller thing. Interview just want to know if you have a Java knowledge or not. In the first round only, you will be just out. You won't be reaching to the Selenium automation round as well. So understand it. What should be the output of A? What should be the output of B? Hmm? Can you print it? Can you print it on the chat? Take a minute of yours, just print it. Just want to know if you have any knowledge or just whatever you think. I'll check your meeting and just tell me. Hmm? Okay. So you've written 1 1. Can you do it, Aparna? Kirti? Okay, you've written 1 1 1 2. Fine. See now. People have given that value of A should be 1 and B to be 2. Okay. Now check this out. What happens in case of your post increment, guys? A is the 1. Value of A is 1. Correct. So here what happens in case of a post increment? First of all, the value of A is assigned to B. Okay, the value of A is what? 1. It is assigned to B 1. So now B becomes 1 here. Fine. And after assignment, the value of A is being incremented by 1. So now A becomes 1 plus 1, that is your 2. So what should be the value printed here? It should be 2 and it should be 1. Can we check? Value of A is 2, value of 1, B is 1. Again, I'll just explain you. Value of A initial is 1. Now, what happened at line 11? First assignment operator worked. Okay, the value of A, the current value of A was 1. It is assigned to B. The work of B is over. Fine. Now, after the assignment, this got incremented by 1 because this plus plus is coming afterwards. So then your value becomes incremented by 1. It becomes 2. Fine. And hence that comes your 2 and 1. Now, okay, let's do another round. Let's see one more thing. Okay, int m is equals to minus 99, int n is equals to m plus plus, and I just want to be printing the value of this thing. Now tell me, you should be able to print correctly. Tell me, what should be the output of this line? M and n. Hmm? Tell me. Can you guys type? The value of m is minus 99 initial, and I'm asking you to print the value of m and n. Okay, just see the concept. The initial value of m is minus 99. The same value of m is being assigned to n, so that means the n becomes your same minus 99. Fine. Afterwards assignment, the value of m is incremented by 1. Minus 99 plus 1, that becomes your what? Minus 98. Hence, m will be printing your minus 98 and your n will be printing is what? 99, minus 99. See this. Correct? Okay. Understand? Okay. One more thing. Let us just try to take int x is equals to what? 10. And I am not assigning it to any variable or something like this. I'm just trying to directly print the value of x plus plus. Tell me, guys, what should be the output of this 24th line? Is it going to print 10, 11, 12, or what? Hmm? See this. Similar case, assignment happens first because everything is happening from the left hand side in the Java. It is reading from the left hand side. So value of 10, initial value of x is 10. So the value of x is being assigned to this println. It is going to print it, and afterwards the value of x plus plus becomes what? It becomes 11 afterwards, after printing only. So see now it is going to print 10 for you only. Okay, but see, if I'm just going to print one more time this value, what should be the output? See, have you seen this? Hmm? Correct. So initial value was 10. 10 was assigned to this println. It printed it, and afterwards, since it's a post increment, it incremented by 1 and it got printed again 11. Okay, I hope it is understandable. Fine. Okay, this is a smaller concept. Now let's see your pre-increment thing. Okay, so what is how it is depicted? Pre-increment plus plus a. So now what happens in this case, guys? First of all, the value of a will be incremented, then assignment will take place. In case of your post increment, what was happening? See, in case of your post increment, what was happening? I'll just write it down. Post increment, assignment happens first, then increment. And in case of your this pre-increment, happens first, then assign. Okay, now let us see some important cases of it. You must be able to now answer it, all these things. Int c is equals to your 1, and I am saying int d is equals to what? Do it c or plus plus c. Huh? And now print a value of c and d for me. Now, can you tell me what should be the output of the c and d? Hmm? Try to understand. Initial value of c is what? 1. Cool. Now, I told you, in this case of pre-increment, first the increment of the operator take place. So this value of 1 becomes 2, and then the assignment. Hence, they will become what? 2, and C has also become 2, because this is already pre-incremented here. Okay. So in both these cases, now you will be finding the response as 2, 2. See this, whether should be correct. Huh? Is that? Explain it once. See, initial value of C is 1 here. In case of your post increment, what was happening? Assignment of the C to D was happening first. But in this case, increment of the value C is happening first. So now the C will become what? 1 plus 1, 2. And the same 2 is assigned to D. Simple. Hmm? Okay. Yeah. Next case I'll just take to understand it better. This time you will be able to do. Okay. In A1 is equals to this thing, and your plus plus A1. Fine. Just print a value now, A1 for me, and print a value of A2 for me. Now do it, guys. I'm waiting for you now. A1 is minus 99, my minus triple nine, and I'm saying A2 is plus plus A1. So print a value of A1 for me. Okay. And then print a value of A2 for me. Need an answer from you guys now. Krishna is saying 200 and 200. What 200, brother? See, it is minus triple nine. Okay. Anyone else? You can just type it. Thousand, thousand. No. See this. This is minus one triple nine, not positive triple nine. Okay, understand this. So A1 is minus triple nine. It's a negative value. What A2 is doing? A2 is saying pre-increment your A1 and then doing it addition of one. So minus triple nine plus one is what? Minus 998. Hmm? So A1 is also become minus 998, and A2 is also assigned with minus 998. Let us just see what should be the answer for it. Is that so? Yeah, minus 998, minus 998. So Krishna, that's yeah, Nitin, you are correct. So Krishna, it's if you are incrementing any negative value by one, then it is always one increment of your negative value, not the thousand. Okay. Had the question been in this way, then obviously your answer would have been corrected. It should be thousand, but it is minus triple nine. Okay. So this is the difference. Interview. Just make you messy and all these things. Don't worry. I think you are able to understand now. Just one more question in this case, and then we'll be moving to decrement part. Okay, do it. In total is equals to, I am saying 10, and I'm just want to print here similar condition total. So now I want you guys to answer this. What should the value of printing value of this total? In earlier case, you have seen that total or the value was assigned to println first, then increment took place because of post increment operator. Since this is a pre-increment operator, what will happen? Increment of the value will take place first, then your printing of the value will take place. That means your answer should be 11 straight away. Correct? Is that so? Hmm? Now, tell me what should be the answer here now. See, tell me. What should be the statement answer of 46 line? Hmm? 11, 12, 10 or what? Check this out. What is the current value now? 11, correct? It which is printed here and it got incremented here. What should be the final value? Again, it got incremented by 1. It should be 12, correct? Okay, I hope the things are clear now. See, now if you are understanding this post increment, pre increment, things become easy for your post decrement. So guys, don't worry. Don't just be scared, because I'll be giving the entire lot of assignments just to practice this post increment, decrement, pre increment, decrement operators. To give you a more coverage, more understanding, more hands on practice for this. So don't worry for that part. Fine. I'll be giving the assignment, but just try to understand what all things I am teaching you right now, just to give a conceptual knowledge. Okay. Now let us just understand int g. Now here understand, guys. This is the post decrement. So what will happen? What will happen? Assignment happens first and then decrement, correct? This is a post decrement. Now int g is equals to 2, int h is equals to g minus minus. The only thing is difference from increment is here the decrement of the value will take place. Okay, now tell me what should be the value of g here and what should be the value of h here. Hmm? Just a second, tell me. Simple, similar like previous, only the post increment one. Now the initial value here g is 2. Here I am saying now post decremented. That means the G should be assigned first because of this assignment operator to H, because of which H becomes what 2. And after the assignment, G has been decremented by 1. That means 2 minus 1, which is equal to 1. So your value of G and H will be now what? 1 and 2. Hmm? Cool. Okay, let us see one more example. Uh, 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 okay, you tell me now. Simpler one. It's very simple. Ghi int I is equals to your 12, and I'm saying try to print me I minus minus. Tell me this thing. What should be the value of the system dot out dot println I minus minus? Hmm? Similar thing I have told you, that I should be now assigned to this println first because of this post decrement operator, and then decrement the value of I. So that means the I should be printed as similar. It should be printed as 12 only because the decrement happens later on. And how if I have to check that increment happens or not later on? Just do this. Check this out. Now, since the decrement happens now, the I will be 11. The same value will be assigned to println, and now it will be printing to you as the latest value 11. Correct? Cool, good. Okay, so one more thing. What is pre-decrement operator says? What it says? The decrement the value first and then assign it. Cool? Huh? Let us see some case. A couple of cases, then we'll just close this out. Okay, and we'll be giving the assignments and then in your G drive and all these things. Int x, or I'll just say x1 is equals to your 2, and I'm saying int x2 is equals to minus minus 2, minus minus what, x1, and print me a value of x1, and in the next line print me a value of what, x2. Now tell me what should be the happening in this case here. Since it is a pre-decrement, so obviously the decrement of the value should be happening at the first go. Now initial value of the x1 is what, 2. What happens at the 64th line? That x1 has been now decremented with one value and assigned to x2. That means x2 becomes what, 1. And obviously since x1 has been decremented by 1, it will also become what, 1. Hmm? Correct? 1 1 should be the answer. Okay, see one more case. uh, I'm saying int bill is equals to your bill is 200. I want to print your bill amount to be minus of your bill. What should be the answer of it, guys? This is the last question of this today's session. I just want everyone to give it correct. I'll be waiting for 30 seconds. Just print it for me. What should be the answer? I want everyone to answer it, please. The value of current value of bill is 200. I am just printing it with a pre-increment operator bill. Hmm? So 199 should be your correct answer, because first your decrement happens and then your assignment to println, and just print it. Now tell me what should be the output of this line now. What should be the printed of this 72th line? Just a second, guys. Just one more minute and just print it. Tell me. Yeah, correct. Cool. So now I think you have understand the concept. The current value was 199 here. We just got more decremented by 1 and just printed 198. I think it was super easy, not so super easy, but conceptually, I think now you are clear. I'll be giving the assignments on all these sections and parts. Okay. So for that, I will take a break for the session and we'll be continuing the next sessions. Do you have any questions, guys, for this thing? Anything before meeting the next session? Can you also provide some examples of non-permitted? Sure. Krishna, I have provided this thing. See, in your data types, I have provided examples to you. Like, can you see this thing? Yeah, non-permitted data types are like your arrays, collections, objects, classes. Because we don't have any fixed size memory assigned to these all these things. We'll be seeing everything in very detail, that how the memory is being shrinked, or it is being utilized, or it is being increased in the upcoming chapters. But these are the non-permitted data types. We don't have any memory assigned to them directly. Okay. Any other question, guys? Are you able to understand the things in the session, in the last two sessions? Hmm? Okay, then I think that's all for the today's session. We'll be meeting the next session. I'll be sharing you the timings and everything after just giving you a poll in that group itself, just to your specified timing and the days you want to be present. Okay, till that time, happy learning. Have a good day. And I'll be sharing the recordings up with you. Thank you, guys.